Hey, Viking fans. Recently, an article came out about lewiscine. And are you worried? I'm going to talk about that next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull Brothers and Sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like, and make sure you leave a comment. I appreciate. That's what keeps me going. That's what grows the channel. You do all three of those things, and I'll be staying on the air forever. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's talk about something that came out really recently, and it's an article, and honestly, I don't like to give too much credence to articles. I feel like it's clickbait, but since I'm talking about it, I could be accused of the same thing. But I want to put, I feel like, some context behind it and elaborate a little bit and give my viewpoints on it. The article is from Heavy. Vikings insider raises red flag over first round pick. And I do believe they're talking about Doogie Wilson, local sports reporter, got a lot of contacts in Vikings. I don't know if they'd talk to him after this, but so it starts out. It's been just 3 games, but concerns are already brewing for Minnesota Vikings first round pick lewiscine. After Harrison Smith was ruled out of week's matchup with Detroit Lions due to concussion, Cine was expected to see significant playing time, and the very least a timeshare with Josh Metellus. Now, let's put this out here. Josh Metellus played awesome, better than average. He had a couple plays where he gave up some plays, but most 11 tackles. I mean, he was great. Best that we could expect it out coming to play in for what I think is a future Hall of Famer. So let's just put that out there. But it is true that Ed Donatel said lewiscine would share time with Metellus. That they would share time. I don't know his exact words, but it came out to, hey, they're going to both see time, basically. And lewiscine didn't see a snap on defense. And he's only seen one in 3 games. 1 snap in 3 games. And that was against the Eagles. It goes on. Instead, Metellus took the start and ran away with it. The 2020 6th-round pick played every defensive snap alongside starting safety Cam Bynum, a 2021 4th-round pick. Now, it could be a point here that Metellus was the hot hand, and they just went with it. It was an important game. We're down. He's playing good. Let's not we're down 14. Let's not experiment with the rookie. And Ed Donatel says he thinks rookies are behind the 8 ball, that they have catching up to do. He apparently doesn't like playing them because the only guy who's got any snaps so far that is a rookie is Evans, Caleb Evans. And he did that in game 2. We were down by 3 scores. So that kind of explains what I'll give him some time, if we're way down, apparently. That seems to be a strategy. But he did say lewiscine would share time, and he didn't, and that's why articles like this come out. Cine has played just 1 snap outside of special teams through 3 games, the fewest of any non-injured first-round rookie this season. I think this has more to say about Ed Donatel than it says about lewiscine. This will go on, and I'll give more viewpoints about why I think lewiscine's not playing. It's not not necessarily all Ed Donatel. There's another factor, and I'm going to talk about that soon. Safety is a position that has relatively smaller learning curve from college to the NFL compared to others, like cornerback or quarterback. 14 rookie safeties have been on the field enough to earn defensive grades from Pro Football Focus so far this season, but Cine has not one of them. He is not one of them, and he was one of 3, I believe, first-round safeties. And he's one of 14 rookie safeties. 14 rookie safeties that does not have a PFF grade. 14 others, but he doesn't. KSTP Darren Wolfson weighed in on Cine's diminished impact so far, and while the rookie has time, Wolfson did wave the red flag on the biggest concern surrounding Cine. On September 29th, airing of the Score North podcast, Wolfson pointed out the biggest concern surrounding Cine was the fact that Metellus is far ahead of Cine in understanding the defensive scheme, that he won every defensive rep last Sunday against the Lions. That's not true. I seen him give up a couple passes, so yeah, that's not true. Is it concerning? It's somewhat concerning. There's no doubt about it, Wilson said. Clearly, we know Josh Metellus is far ahead of lewiscine. It's a little bit of a red flag. Anybody who saw preseason and looked at, especially L22 tape, lewiscine was not way behind Josh Metellus. Now, go in the description. I'm going to have a video where I reviewed the safeties before preseason, before I saw them play it down. And I was high on all of them. I said, Josh Metellus, I thought he was going to be our 4th safety, and apparently he's our 3rd now. lewiscine's been bumped to 4th. But I was saying, hey, it was awesome that we have Josh Metellus as our 4th safety. And then I was really high on Dorn and said Dorn might even replace him, and both played awesome in preseason. So go down and watch my video I did a month ago, or more, probably 2 months ago, on the safeties. I said it's a 3rd deepest position group we had outside of running back and receiver. And it might be the deepest now. And Metellus is playing great. Now, forgive me for calling him Mateus. My wife's Latino, and you say L like a Y. So I got in the habit of that. The Vikings were held the number 12. Vikings, which held the number 12 overall pick in last year's draft last April, could have sat pat with several high-profile players on the board, most notably consensus top-ranked safety Kyle Hamilton. Instead, Minnesota traded down with Detroit, taking the 32nd overall pick in the draft, along with 34th pick and 3rd round pick in exchange for the number 12 pick and a mid-second round pick. This trade got us our starting right guard. So any thought that, hey, this was a terrible trade should be thrown out the window, because we ended up getting Andrew Booth Jr. and Ed Ingram in that 2nd round. Now, Andrew Booth Jr. is hurt. He's going to be a good corner in this league. Everybody thinks so. lewiscine is going to be a good safety in this league. Everybody thinks so. The issue that I may have had is, if we're not going to play lewiscine, we should have got Jordan Davis, because right now, our weakest link right now is our backup defensive line. They can't even, you think our starting defensive line can't handle the run. Our backup defensive line gets beat off the ball. They get, well, at least against the Lions, they got just pushed back. And we're responsible for the biggest run play of the day on Sunday. Now, Wilson brought up the inevitable comparison Vikings fans will have for passing on Hamilton, instead opting to select Cine. Hamilton has outperformed Cine so far, grading as the top rookie safety with a 77.4 Pro Football Focus grade through 3 games. Score North, Judd Zolgad offered insight into Cine's absence from the defense, saying the rookie out of Georgia has struggled to pick up the defense coordinator in Ed Donatell's scheme. Where are they getting that from? Where are they getting that from? He said he likes him. He says he plays good. He says he's smart. He says he's fast. He says all these good things about him. Says he's going to play. Is he a liar? Is he covering for lewiscine? Where are they getting this information from? That's what I want to know. But hey, Hey, it makes you sound smart. You have insider information that lewiscine is not picking this up. No, man, it's week 3, he hasn't played yet, so you're trying to throw up red flags, and yeah, that's what's happening. Lewiscine is every preseason was fine. They thought to have him as the number 3 safety. He did have an injury. This article is talking about he was not injured. Lewiscine was injured. Fact. So he lost time because of that. Ed Donatil thinks rookies are naturally behind. This is more Ed Donatil not playing him than it is Lewiscine. We have Lewiscine for 5 years if we want him, 4 for sure. He's going to be fine. I would love him to be a contributor this year, but it makes us feel more comfortable when we maybe avoid the cap hit of Aaron Harrison Smith, unfortunately, in the next couple of years. While not seeing the field on defense may be some concern, it could also be a sign of the team's depth at safety, a major plus with the Smith in the twilight of his career. You wait till the end of your article to make the very number 1 point, and the point I make in my safety video, if you go look in the description below, that this is one of the deepest position groups on the Vikings. Metellus is good. He was on the team last year. He got playing time. He naturally would be ahead of Lewiscine. We drafted at a position of complete strength and not need, which would have been Jordan Davis. But hey, we made the trade. We got a Lewiscine, and then we got Andrew Booth Jr. and Ed Ingram, who's going to be a stud offensive lineman in his career. Zulgad said that the team source find Bynum as smart as it gets and incredibly intelligent. While Bynum doesn't have the physical tools Cine does, he's won the starting job alongside Smith due to his smarts and versatility. Are you saying Cine doesn't have these things? He does. So come on. That is not the outstanding thing. Metellus is a good safety. He was given the opportunity. Cine could have just as good a day. I guarantee it. He could have just as good a day as Josh Metellus. This just makes me feel even better about the safety position, because Dorn is a hell of a freaking safety too. Guaranteed. I don't even think Bynum is our number 2 safety right now. I would even fathom to think that Cine probably could outplay him eventually. But right now, Bynum was the safer choice. And he's good. All 4 of our top safeties are good. All the 4 safeties at dress are good. Dorn's even good, and he's our 5th safety. And I'm glad he made it to the practice squad. But maybe not for long, if injuries start happening around the league. Metellus boasts an 82.6 defensive grade after an impressive outing against the Lions that he capped with a game-clinching interception on the final drive of the game. He tallied 9 tackles and kept every play in front of him. Metellus allowed just 23 yards on 4 receptions and 3 yards after the catch. He also notched a pass defended and allowed just a 46.3 passer rating when targeted in coverage. 46.3 passer rating. A play happened on him. That is a very low passer rating against him, but he did give up a play, and he says he won every play in this article. So come on. This was an article to bash the fact that the Vikings drafted their first round draft pick is not getting any playing time. My complaint is that it is at Donatil's choice, and it's a product of us drafting for the best player available. I mean, I thought Andrew Booth Jr. was the best player available, but being that he played injured his college career, he was dropping. That's probably why we had him lower. So we ended up getting both Cine and Andrew Booth Jr. Awesome. We just haven't seen the fruits of our labors yet. Ed Donatil doesn't like to play rookies. It is very apparent. We're in week 3, and we're running 13 guys out there maybe 15 on defense. And, we're sprinkling in linemen. That's it. Our corners are not leaving the field. Our nickel's not leaving the field. Our safeties aren't leaving the field. And our linebackers aren't leaving the field. Well, our middle linebackers aren't. Zadarius Smith's getting spelled a little bit, and I believe Danielle Hunter is too. But the only people seeing any rest is our three defensive linemen, our 2 outside linebackers. Other than that, we have no depth play. Now, I was making the comment that this can't fly when we go to Miami and play in that heat. Now, with Tua down, game's looking a little better for us. Unfortunately for Tua, Godspeed, man, getting back. That's a terrible injury. I know what a concussion feels like, and being knocked out, it's tough. It's tough to come back from. You're foggy. It's tough to think. I can't imagine a quarterback coming back next day on that. He's going to be out for a while. I don't know how long, but he's going to be out for a while. And that was a bad one. Now, but in reality, Vikings are going to go there. They're going to play Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to be he's a Miami boy. He's home. He's playing his ex-team that drafted him. He's going to be hyped for that. And Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback. He had a bad throw. Otherwise, he was one bad throw at the end of the game. Otherwise, he was leading them down for his score. But what can happen is us to go there with no backups. No guys resting these guys in 90-degree heat in the middle of the day. That can't happen. So in the next few days or the next few weeks, find a way to get some playing time for our backups somehow, and hopefully you're going to blow out the Saints and you're going to get some of these guys on the field. Ed Donatel, I'm looking at you, and I don't know why. I go and get a picture of lewiscine and I don't even show it. lewiscine right here is a good football player. He's going to be fine. Stop crapping on him he's a rookie. Ed Donatel doesn't play rookies. It's obvious. You play Caleb Evans week 2. He plays well. You don't play him week 3 at all. You don't play Brian Asamoah. You keep Kendricks and Hicks, even though Hicks and Kendricks have shown some past deficiencies, and Asamoah is the fastest of the 3, and you don't play him one snap in 3 games, and then lewiscine plays one snap in 3 games, there's issues there that you do not have trust in all of your rookies for some reason. We need them. We're gonna need them. Why put them out there with no game experience at all when we need them? Metellus, he's a 2nd-year player. He's played before. These guys need to know the speed of the game. Get them in there. Let's see them play. Skull Vikings. That's it for today. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Please do that. I appreciate you guys. It keeps me going, keeps my channel growing. Love it. Let's beat these guys in London. Let's beat the Saints in London. All right. Let's go. Cue the music. Thank you, Viking fans, for listening. Make sure you catch my other episodes. Also, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Thank you. Skull Vikes.